You're listening to Sideshow Network. Check out all of our shows at SideshowNetwork.tv.
Hello and welcome to Worst Collection Ever, brought to you by the Sideshow Network and Comics on Comics, where the greatest comic minds meet the greatest minds in comics. I'm Jen.
I'm Shawn.
And today we have two more wonderful selections for you. These are, of course, brand new, hot off the presses, so to speak. WonderCon was this weekend. Mm-hmm. We just got back, and we picked up some shit.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, no, we got a bunch of
50-cent comics.
50-cent comics, which is
fantastic.
Yeah, that's.
We should have gone back to that stand, but we didn't. It's okay.
No, because the thing is I would have ended up being just buying
shit,
way more stuff. You know, I think I kind of already had my picking.
Well, I'm afraid to even count how many we bought. I think we had to have bought over 30.
You think?
I think maybe.
No,
at least over 20.
That's over, maybe 20. That's 30 is a bit much.
A lot. We bought a lot.
Yeah.
Of crap.
And
the first one that we're going to talk about is
it's Anima from 1995. Anima number 11 from February 1995.
And perhaps you should explain a little bit about Anima.
Well, it's hard to explain about Anima because basically she was one of those blood pack characters from the 90s, like Hitman and Damage, and you know they existed after that thing, and they just happened to be popular enough to warrant their own series. This series only went on for maybe like 15 issues, so barely a year. But basically, her power is she's like a bio. She can drain energy from living and non-living things, which I don't understand how you drain energy from something non-living.
Like electricity, or just
no, like bioenergy. Like she has some sort. What?
Wait, how?
She bioenergy, like life energy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Of something that's not alive.
But that's what, according to the DC Wiki, that's what it means.
But so we're not talking like things that were once alive, like maybe a table made of wood or something. Like even plastic shit?
I don't know. I don't know. I just know that just basically that's what she's supposed to be able to do.
Okay.
I feel like I should read more issues of her. Like actually, because she was. Well, just because I'm intrigued by like, well, how does this power actually work?
Well, they probably don't know.
Who?
The creators are just like, yeah, bioenergy. She drains it from things. Okay, go.
Well, anyways, so she's got like this supporting cast, and
she's got friends
of assholes and
friends.
You know, for some reason, this particular issue,
it's because it says Anima the Motion Picture.
Anima the Motion Picture, so, which makes me feel like I'm reading The Room.
It kind of is like The Room.
What?
Oh, that was you. Sorry.
I am.
I thought that was a cat.
No cats.
Okay.
See, the thing I don't understand about Anima is that she's got this suit of armor, like she's like
spiky shoulder pads.
Like she's like the Legion of Doom or some shit.
Yeah, I don't know what's.
And yet I don't know what it necessarily does for her. And she's also like one of those characters. She's got like she never has any pupils.
Right.
Like as soon as she got her spinal fluid sucked out and turned herself into Anima.
Yeah, but Wonder Man doesn't have pupils either, and you love Wonder Man.
No, I'm just saying, but that's the thing. That's a thing. You know, I'm not. You know, I'm not.
I thought you were complaining about it.
No, I don't care. I mean, that's how it was in the 90s. Like nobody had pupils.
No,
I think there was I remember I was reading.
Like, does Batman have pupils? No, fucking no one gets pupils now.
No, because I was like back in the 90s. I was reading a Wizard magazine, and they had used to do like their top 10 heroes, and there was just one year they were like one issue they were like, oh look, none of our heroes have irises or pupils or whatever. I guess this is how it is. So anyways, in this particular issue,
they're going to the Oscars. It opens on the Oscars.
It opens on the Oscars, apparently. So apparently there's something going on.
It's like a movie, I think.
No, it's the Oscars.
Well, it is the Oscars, but isn't it this... Wasn't there like a movie, everybody wants this person, this Iris or Eris person?
Yeah.
That was in, I'm assuming, some movie or something? And they're like, oh, yeah, no, she might show up at the Oscars or might not or whatever. And so they're interviewing all these people, and, like, on this splash page in the very beginning, you have Johnny Depp, Courtney Love, Lyle Lovett.
Lyle Lovett, I'm assuming that's Charlie Sheen.
Where? Which one?
Wearing his hat here.
I don't know. Kind of looks like Kim Jong-un.
Maybe, okay.
Maybe it would be Kim Jong-il back then.
Who's this supposed to be then?
Who was Johnny Depp's girlfriend at the time? I don't even know.
Oh, God. This is
See, but she's got that symbol you were talking about.
Okay, so...
And so does Johnny on his hand.
So does Johnny, Rosie Perez.
And I'm assuming that's Princess Di, yeah?
Princess Di, who supports...
Who is that? Is that like Kofi Annan? I have no idea who that's supposed to be.
Gaddafi?
Sure.
Oh, God.
Gaddafi?
Who's this? Is this Lenny Kravitz?
I think that might be Lenny Kravitz.
Wait, he's got something written... Oh, that's his necklace.
I think that's Lenny Kravitz.
And George Burns hanging out with...
Was he not dead yet?
No, he died in...
Seriously?
No, because I looked it up. Because I had to make sure that...
Burns was like $1 million by the time
George
he
Burns
died.
was literally 99 years old.
Yes, he was old as fuck.
He died in 1996. So this is...
At 99? Or how old?
At 100. He died at 100 years old.
Jesus Christ.
So he died about a year or so after this was over.
He's old as fuck.
But for whatever reason, he's there.
Wow, George Burns. Because he's George Burns. Who's that supposed to be?
Ooh, this back here?
Yeah.
I don't know, some porn star.
Sure, porn star. So there's Michael Jackson.
There's Michael Jackson, and I assume it's...
Who is also dead. But I don't know who that is. Is that like Selma Hayek, maybe?
95? Oh, maybe.
Maybe. I'm not sure who that's supposed to be. But then here we have Howard Stern talking to a very thin Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah,
I was like, dude, that is not Rush Limbaugh. He's not nearly fat enough.
And I don't even
know why they would even be speaking to each other, but okay.
Because he's like, Howard's like, he's like, let's do it again, Howard. He's like, now I know why they call you Rush. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, do what again? Like have dinner, eat, have sex?
Sure.
Yeah.
But like, as all these celebrities are walking by, you've got like, oh yeah, this is great, and blah 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 blah, and then you have all these people in the crowd chanting.
They want Eris. They basically, because I guess the deal is that this is why I feel like I should read more of this, because I'm trying to understand, who the nameless ones are.
Yeah.
The nameless.
Well, yeah, that
the nameless ones are some sort of group that this has something to do with this Eris.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah, and anyway,
so then they're like, here comes the host of Tonight Show. Late Night King Conan O'Brien.
Conan O'Brien, now mind you, this is 1995.
Yeah. So he's only been doing this for 2 years.
It's only been 2 years.
But Conan is fucking amazing. So whoever wrote this was like, I love Conan and putting him in a comic book.
Well, it's DC Comics.
I don't blame him. Whoever created this. I was like, I would put Conan in all the comic books if it was up to me. So,
and he's flanked by...
the first lady, who at the time would be who? Hillary?
Okay, so it's Hillary, yeah.
It would be Hillary. And RuPaul. Again, another one of my favorites. So I was very excited about this because I love RuPaul so much. And then this, who says, where's the rest of me? Is that Ronald Reagan?
That's like Ronald Reagan.
Is it supposed to be Reagan? But like, why is he saying, where's the rest of me? He's not dead at this point.
No, he's not.
Is this just like a veiled insult with his rumors Alzheimer's?
Maybe, because I thought, for a second, I thought that this was, because they're like, oh, he's escorting the First Lady.
I thought that was Nancy Reagan, and then he keeps calling her Hillary later.
Right.
So then I was like, oh, it has to be Hillary Clinton, because if this is 95...
Of course, yeah. And I'm like, First Lady, I'm like, that wasn't Nancy Reagan.
Not then, no.
But, so there's just Ronnie being like, where's the rest of me? Whatever.
I was like, is it Walt Disney, and that's only his frozen head? But I don't...
So apparently, so he's being interviewed by, like...
Conan's
being interviewed by like or Entertainment Tonight, and I guess this Eris is the reason for
why Conan is hosting
because he's a big fan of the nameless ones. Apparently, they're like the Illuminati in the town, or they're like Kabbalah or whatever, or the Scientology.
Scientology. This book is about Scientology.
Holy shit!
It is clear. This whole thing is fucking clear.
This is clear. Yeah. So anyway, we go over to finally get to Anima, who's flying over the ocean, and she's talking to
friends.
Some guy. I don't know who some of these
friends.
Okay, they're her friends. They're her fighting friends.
Yeah.
And because basically the Animus is like a being in her body.
Yeah.
That she can create when she
needs to,
when she drains a bunch of energy and creates this giant. What I think is going on here, okay, so basically what's going on is that she can create this giant energy being.
Like a construct.
Like a construct of sort, but it's like a real energy being that has like, innumerable strength or whatever. So it could show up or whatever. And so we cut to, but it lives in like this dimension or whatever when it's not being used.
Where apparently that's where Eris lives?
No, Eris is somebody. Eris is this slimy thing.
I thought this was Eris.
No, this is something else.
I thought he calls her Eris later.
I don't know, but they're fighting each other. So, like, the Anima is a sister.
Right.
God damn it.
Yeah, see, I told you, this is very confusing. So, we came in the middle. But I think that's supposed to be Eris. I swear to God, he calls her Eris later. So, there's these two...
No, he does. You're right.
Yeah, it's Eris.
No, wait, she calls...
No, there's the boobs. So, that's her. That's the brother. So, there are these big, creepy-looking demon things... And the brother is talking to Eris, who is the sister, and they're like, we have to come together to form the...
Suzuki.
Basically, I don't know.
Suzuki.
It says we have
SYZYGY.
Signy, we have to make...
Chloe Savigny.
Yeah, we have to make the Chloe Savigny. If we come together, we create Chloe Savigny. And she's like, I don't want to be with you because that sucks. Like, I want to be my own person. So now they're fighting.
Right.
So then we cut back to Conan, who's like going backstage to talk to the Nameless Ones.
He's going back to the Nameless Ones, and
I don't know if this is supposed to be a fucking joke because it's not funny or it doesn't make any sense either.
Because he's telling some guy that's...
There's a guy with like a scorpion tail who's guarding the door to where the Nameless Ones are. And the guy says, "No one may enter here, human." And the guy goes, and Conan goes, "Who are you supposed to be? Sting?" Ha. And then he goes, "Listen, I'm Conan O'Brien. Either you move that tail or you put a bib on and eat it."
I'm going to use that.
Is that an insult?
No, but
that doesn't even make any fucking sense.
Okay, so basically,
then he gets in.
So Nameless One, and there's this, I think this girl's named Mania.
Is it a girl?
Or whatever it is,
Sure.
yeah, it's a woman.
Mania.
She starts doing shit.
Yeah. So
then anyways, okay, God, there's so much weird shit going on here. So it's kind of hard for us to like explain this without actually making sense. So then we cut to some stage in Hollywood where
basically the resistance against the Nameless Ones.
Okay, you're right. So the resistance against the Nameless Ones, and and
they're like, we're gonna crash this party.
It includes a giant wolf.
Yeah,
and
that's pretty cool. Like, this woman's literally sitting on this wolf like it's a couch.
And Willow, who is Anima's mother, is there too.
Yes.
And they're a part of this also resistance along with this band, because basically what happens is she meets up with this band called Boojum.
Yes.
And they're a part of this group too. So it makes sense later when we...
Can I just say one thing? Like, just go back. There is an ad here for Batman Might Fall. Might, Mitefall. So like Batmite. And it's the Batmite version of Nightfall. And if I could find this fucking thing, I would buy it. This is amazing.
I got to look for this, yeah.
I want that. Anyway,
I like how he's being punched.
I like how he's being punched, and I just love, like, here's, like, Azrael, but, like, here's, like, this goofy drawing on the front of him. And I want it.
Well, we'll get it.
We'll find it. Anyway. So... yeah, there's like fighting monsters.
And Eris and Animus are fighting, and then we start with the Oscars, and Conan's doing jokes, and he's like,
and apparently what's going to happen is when Conan goes out there and he does his monologue. His monologue is supposed to like be an incantation,
right?
To like open the door. But he says, "Fuck that," and he like pulls out a gun, and he's like, "I'm part of the resistance," which I think that's what that A is supposed to represent. It's on his face. Supposed to represent.
But then why? But I mean, you think that would have been kind of given away?
But I think that's only for us to see, so we know who the resistance is. I don't think anybody else can see that. I think that's just for the.
Well, that's stupid.
I know. So, but then, everybody in the audience starts like pulling out guns, and everybody's fighting.
All the movie stars are fighting. Look, I think there's Stallone. See.
Oh, yeah, that looks like Stallone.
That's a Stallone. He's got the hair. I don't know who this guy...
I just got punched in the face.
I'm assuming that's...
And they're like, we're with you, Conan. And they just start like...
Kevin Spacey getting punched.
Sure, Kevin Spacey.
But so then...
it's just big fight.
A big fight.
Melee.
And as this is going on, Kevin...
Andy Richter.
Andy Richter is stage right, off stage, because apparently they're going to do bits together. And Andy's like,
Andy.
What the fuck?
He's stepping on my lines.
He's stepping on my lines.
And he rips his shirt open, and he's wearing a cape.
He's straight up wearing a superhero costume. Like, he tucked the cape, actually.
Into his suit.
Into his suit. And he tears it off, and then it's funny because he starts, like, he goes after Conan.
Look at Conan's head in this picture. It's like, oh.
He has his neck broken.
I think Conan's dead. He's facing away from Andy.
Let me say something.
And Andy charges him, and Conan's head's literally all the way back so you can see his face.
Andy's got some nice thighs here in this picture.
Yeah, Andy's
he's looking pretty toned. And as he hits him, he says, "Here comes a 10 on the Richter scale." And as he's about to, because he's got some fiery gauntlets.
Yeah.
And he's about to waste Conan, and he says, "Quote: Your hair won't save you now."
I think that should be the picture that you.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot here. I feel like Andy needs to be aware of this.
Yeah,
I just had to think. I wonder if they know about this.
Well, it's hard to tell sometimes.
If I get a chance to meet Andy Richter, if I'm like, hey, do you
know about this?
You guys on this? You guys know?
Here's the thing, because like they drop Johnny Carson and David Letterman into Marvel books all the fucking time, and I don't know if they knew about it, right?
Dave probably knew about it. Johnny, they probably did. But I mean, this is like, it's fucking Anima.
Yeah.
It's Anima. It is.
Yeah, this is also 95. This is when, Conan might be on like, week to week. They wanted to put him on like 2-week contracts and shit because they wanted to get rid of him so badly. So I think this is just coming out of that time when he's doing okay, but he's still not getting the ratings that they want from him, and then they just sort of let him do his thing. I don't know. I mean, maybe. So maybe that's why he's like, yeah, I'll do it.
But I guess I don't know. I don't know. Did he think that people were actually reading this? That he would be, and he's like, if he was like, Conan, we're going to put you in this, you're going to have a gun, and you're going to host the Oscars. He's like, sure.
He probably would have.
Why was he not the Flaming Sea?
Well, because Bruce Timm drew the Flaming Sea, like when he moved to Burbank.
Oh.
When Conan moved to Burbank.
Gotcha.
So this would have been back when, obviously, DC in New York. And, Conan was based in New York, so it's not unusual to think that maybe they would have, like, met some dude who, like, draws comics or something.
I'm certain they're probably well connected here.
Yeah, so who knows? I mean, maybe he was just like, fuck it, let's do it. I want to be in a comic book. I'm certain
that Steve Crespo, who drew this, is probably a fan.
Yeah, sure.
Or Paul Whitwindow.
Yeah,
Whitcover.
He was like, fuck it, we're going to put Conan in this book. He's like, all right, Conan, sweet.
Making all these noises.
I'm going to make him a hero.
Anyways.
I'm going to make Andy Richter a villain who breaks Conan's neck and then, like, smashes him with fiery gauntlets.
Fiery gauntlets and great thighs. Sometimes you gotta give respect. You gotta respect the thing. Apparently, he's been doing squats.
He has nothing but squats, super squats.
Super squats. I should tag Sarah Thayer in this.
You should
be like,
look at Andy's thighs.
The state of Andy's thighs. Can you confirm?
It's funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, so finally,
this
is where I got confused.
No, okay,
if I wasn't confused enough, this is where I got confused because I'm like, what the fuck? So like, Mania comes out and starts trying to fight these people.
Well, she's fighting back the resistance because Conan is against her.
Now I get it.
So she's her and the Nameless One are fighting back. And they're trying to fight to mess it up, take care of business.
And all these people show up.
Well, then the Anima shows up with her goons, her dudes,
her friends, and then there's more fighting. And then back in the monster universe, they decide to I don't know, be monsters.
They decide to finally get together.
Yeah,
they Eris and merge. Eris and Animus merge.
They become one, if you will.
They become one, and then the Animus shows up and starts fighting the Nameless One, which is like this big. Oh fuck! They just merge, and then they show up and they start fighting the Nameless One, which is like this big fucking green tentacled monster thing.
It's Cthulhu.
Cthulhu, basically.
Yeah.
Without being Cthulhu.
It's a thinly veiled Cthulhu. Sure.
So they start. So they, everybody's it's fight, punch,
punching,
punch. I mean, really, that's
like literally that's all.
Anima's there. She's
punching and
she's using her energy, to stand. I don't know how she's. See, the thing is, I don't understand how her powers are working here. Is it so? You mean to say? Let me say. So is she draining the energy of people around her and using it to fight back?
Maybe because I don't know. I mean, whatever. Maybe she has it's like a battery on an iPhone. She charges, and then
possibly
she uses it, and then she has to charge again. I don't know. Or maybe it replenishes itself if she doesn't use it. I have no clue.
And then something happens where her
aunt dies.
Her aunt shows up with this thing about the one Rix, which is like some sort of energy measurement that she can.
It just looks like a big old handheld game.
It looks like a really primitive calculator.
Yeah, and so whatever it is doesn't work, and she dies. And then that's when Anima
she gets her bioenergy. I mean, she's being grabbing this dude. This dude's trying to grab her. I don't know if she's draining this dude.
I don't think she drains him because what she actually does is end up sucking the Nameless One into her body.
Oh, is that what she's doing here?
Yeah, so I think she's taking his energy and just sucking it in. So she takes him into her dimension, like inside herself.
Yeah.
And then the Nameless One is like, well, that was fucking stupid because I'm like a cancer. I'm going to overtake your body. And she's like, no, you're on my turf now. And so she focuses. It says like she weaves strands of her own recombinant DNA into a prison for the Nameless One. Nameless no longer.
Right.
So because she knew that this Nameless One's name is actually Courtney.
Well, that's her name.
Is that her name?
Her name is Courtney.
But yes,
Courtney
Mason. I've always had the power to name you, Courtney. And he goes, no. So is she saying like the Nameless One was like part of her all along or something? She basically creates a prison out of her own DNA, and the Nameless One stays there and like, haha.
That's not gonna end well.
That's not gonna end well. So then we go back, and Conan has saved the day, and like there's a picture of Conan holding a gun, being hoisted up on top of all the movie stars' shoulders, and it says, "Thus was launched the political career of the greatest president in the history of the Republic." So apparently Conan ran for president and won. President O'Brien.
Well.
So then I don't know, some other thing like disappeared.
Yeah. So once
it's like a flaming.
Well, so like when some other
face,
some guy that I don't know. There's some random character.
There's a lot of shit going on, and whatever. And then the band.
So anyway, so she tells Anima tends to her dead aunt, and then the band's there, and they're talking to. Okay, so basically, just only way to say this. They're talking to the bare naked ladies.
Like, hey guys, remember the bare naked ladies?
The bare naked ladies are talking to this boojum group of hers. Who I think one of those guys' name is literally named Slam.
Sure. Yeah, that's a band name.
No, like his name.
No, I know. That's a dude in a band.
Dude in a band named
His
Slam.
Slam.
Because it's the 90s, so...
Yeah,
I mean,
not?
Jesus Christ, everybody here looks like Dan Cortez. But the bare naked ladies...
It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Sorry.
And I only recognize... And it's funny because I'm trying to...
I don't actually recognize them in this picture, but...
One looks like Will Wheaton. I only recognize the guy that's like the half-black guy.
That's the lead singer?
No, he's not. I don't say lead singer because there's no like real big fat guy. Other than maybe there's glasses back here. Maybe that's him. I don't know who this guy is with the mustache.
Maybe they didn't draw
this guy with a bowl cut.
I don't know.
Asian guy with a bowl cut.
Aren't there like 1 million people in the Bare Naked Ladies?
No, that's like a different band. There's like 5 guys in the band.
Oh.
You know.
I always feel like there were like 7.
I mean, maybe it's another band. Maybe it's like a different band. Like,
I was never really.
Are you thinking Chumbawamba? There's like 30 people in
This is also around the same time as like ska was kind of popular, and those bands really do have like 95 people in them, so maybe.
Ska band outnumbers audience. My favorite Onion headline of all time.
I love that one.
So anyway, so
basically, Bare Naked Ladies, and they're like, we have a date in Gotham.
They're playing.
Play with us.
They're playing Gotham.
They're all all gonna die.
Oh
So
God,
it's so much
where is
fun.
the Gotham concert venue? And can it please be a cold open to the to Gotham,
The actual TV show.
the TV show where they play
Penguins Club.
and then they get murdered.
And they're just like, it's been 1 week.
Dead.
And then
dead.
the penguin just laughs, and then it's like Gotham, and that's how it opens.
And then he makes his mom go on stage and sing.
Yeah, I would watch the fuck out of that.
That's a
I
good
watched
thing.
the fuck out of Gotham anyway. I would watch the fuck out of that even more.
Can we get that in there? Actually,
Yes.
I'm glad we didn't read this beforehand because we probably would have tried to like rush into the Gotham panel and be like, guys,
is this gonna happen, you guys? This is what I just thought of.
so the Bare Naked Ladies are playing Gotham according to this issue of Anima from 1995. Could this do you think they might be able to cross this over into? I think if somebody asked that,
Guys, I have ideas.
no. Here's the thing. If you ask this question,
I would be thrown out.
you would be. They would literally be like, "There's an insane person in this panel.
Security.
Please
Come get this fucking woman.
please
She
be
doesn't know what
removed.
she's doing.
We need to get you out of here, and you need to go home and be
Just
medicated."
two ginormous security dudes. Though I would have to say, are they like the security people, the same people that like tell you can go in and out of the rooms? The guy in the yellow shirts.
I don't know. They might have. I've imagined if
I
you're
feel
doing
like
a
shouldn't they
Gotham
have, like-
panel, they might have better security.
I didn't see any like security guards in like uniform. I just saw a bunch of dudes in yellow shirts that were like event or whatever. And I feel like I was taller than all those dudes.
Oh, what is it? What's
So
the thing?
they'd have to have
Look,
like
look.
6 of them to like pull me out of
Look,
there.
in
I'd be
terms
like,
of-
ah,
I have ideas.
Gotham! And then they'd be like, oh, fuck. And then
Print my Bare Naked Ladies crossover.
read my Bare Naked Ladies fanfic!
Good lord.
Yeah.
Anyways. So Anima, which I didn't realize now, apparently she could just turn her armor on and off.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Because now
like,
she's just wearing
weird-
a t-shirt.
Yeah, and like stripy leggings.
And,
And
yeah.
shorts.
And so she just, she's all 90s up. And
Yeah,
she's like,
that's a skirt. I'm sorry. It's still very 90s.
yeah, and she's like, all right, I'm going to go leave. I guess she's basically like, telling her family that she needs to, like, they want to go back to New Orleans because that's where she's originally from, to, like, start to kind of just get their shit together. And she's like, I need to go find my dad, who apparently is green. And
an elf
and
from
an
Lord of the Rings.
she's her dad is Orlando Bloom.
He's got that elf hair. It's all like slicked back and like a ponytail.
Of course it is. It's the 90s. Everybody had ponytails back in the 90s.
With like the widow peak hairline and the burns.
Oh yeah.
It's an elf.
He's straight up Val Kilmering here. But so she decides she's gonna go off and take care of her shit, and that's it.
Yeah, and the end.
And that's it. And then
That's the end.
And then 4 issues later, this book was canceled. The end. Which actually, I'm intrigued because I want to know. I still don't understand what her powers do. I want to know. I need more information on how this is. And I know she dies a pretty gruesome death later on, and like.
And she's never been back.
Oh no, she got chopped in half.
And they've never brought her back.
Well, no. Why? Who cares?
Good point.
Would Conan care? Can we get Conan behind this?
I don't know, because Conan, he would definitely care.
He looks good in this book. He might
looks
actually.
great, number 1. Number 2, he's a hero. And number 3, he became president. So he might actually really be behind bringing Anima back. Because it means there exists a world in which he is president of the United States.
Man, if I was a guest on the Conan O'Brien show, I would just show up with this.
I was going to say, you'd have to bring that book.
I'd have to be like, because think about this. If you're a guest on Conan and you're like,
Dude.
what are we gonna talk about? Just hand somebody else and be like, talk about this.
Can we please talk about this?
I know maybe if you're a comedian and Conan, you're like, hey, if he calls you over to the couch,
Oh, that's true.
you just ask him, be like, look, I was reading this comic book from 1995, and you had a gun and you became president, and you also hosted the Oscars, and then you and Andy fought.
Yeah, and Andy had great thoughts.
And Andy had great thighs. Please explain.
Were you aware of this?
Were you aware of your great thighs, Andy?
Were you aware that you were escorting RuPaul?
Yeah,
to the fucking Oscars?
RuPaul and
which
Hillary
is
Clinton.
Awesome.
Does RuPaul?
That's the thing. Does RuPaul even know?
Does Hillary Clinton know?
I'm certain Hillary Clinton does not know.
Oh God.
Conan might know. RuPaul might know. They're pretty down.
Does Ronnie Reagan know?
Well, he's dead.
Well, let's do a seance and be like,
break out that Ouija board. Let's ask Ronald Reagan if he knows. Let's ask George Burns if he knows if he's in this book.
Ask him why is he in this book. See, actually, that'd be funny if you just did a seance just to do that. Be like, you could ask, if you could talk to any Michael Jackson, just be like, "Hey, do you guys know about this?" I can go to Johnny Depp's house right now on like on top of the fucking Sunset Strip.
France.
No, he has a house on the Sunset Strip. It's like
that doesn't mean that he actually lives there, though.
Well, if I just threw this over and I just put Y on it,
yeah, there you go.
And eventually he'll be walking through his giant. It'll just be, well, that's how people get scripts to like Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, is that how that works?
That's how you get ahead.
You just toss shit over people's walls.
If you tie heavy objects to paper.
That's nice.
You will become
really heavy shit. That's how you get a writing deal in Hollywood. You just throw shit over people's walls.
I'm just going to strap a big brick.
You go on a Starline tour, and you bring like 14 copies of your script all tied to cinder blocks, and you just heave.
You just tell them, hang on, guys, stop here. I'll be right back.
Don't mind me. And luckily, you did shot put in high school, so you just like spin around.
Which actually, what the problem is like I'm not what I am now, so it'll just be me hitting a gate like constantly, just like.
You're like, hold on, I gotta try it again. Everybody on the Starline tour just sadly watches you. They don't even film you after a while. They're just like, this man is sad.
Guys, please understand that Anima number 11 from February 1995 is not nearly as entertaining as we're making it out to be.
No, please don't read it.
No, read it because you gotta see some of this stuff.
Well, I mean, the Conan thing's pretty great.
There's a lot of greatness in here, but pretty much anything else in here, you're gonna be like, "What the fuck is going on? What is her power? What is her power?"
You know, maybe if we started from number 1, we would know. What was
well, I guess I'm gonna have to. This is probably an easy series to collect. Granted, you gotta find it, but anyways, that's Anima.
Yay!
All right, we're back with yet another selection here on Worst Collection Ever here on Sideshow Network. Thanks for sticking around. And I have to say this weekend was pretty great, though, because we did go to the WonderCon and Comics of Comics, of course, performed there live with their guests, Setting Phoenix and Black Nerd, Andre Meadows. And it was nice to just be there. And,
yeah, it was fun.
Vito gave us a nice shout out to the crowd. And I'll give a shout out to our good friend Tim Chismar, who listens religiously.
Yes.
And enjoys our selections and our comic. And he said our voices are hypnotic. And I love you, Tim. So.
I should have asked him if I sound like a dude.
You don't sound like a dude. But thank you so much, Tim, and thank you so much for folks that listen.
Yes, definitely. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you for. I'm sorry, Mr. Paul Vernon.
Yeah.
Who's our good friend from England.
Yeah.
He listens religiously as well, and he's also a wrestling fan.
Yep.
So he's my brother.
Mm-hmm.
And so thank you.
Thanks. Thank you guys so much for listening, everybody who listens.
And to tell your friends, if you dig what you're hearing here.
And hit us up on Twitter. I tweet back,
Yeah, we'll tweet. So
we'll tweet back.
Yeah.
It's fun.
So let's jump in.
I like cats, so you can talk to me about that.
Indeed. So let's jump into Avengers Spotlight number 23.
From October?
October 1989.
All right.
The cover is The Vision Goes Hollywood.
Yep. And he's wearing some nice giant...
We got Vision in his white...
When is this from? I'm sorry.
This is from 1989.
Oh, okay, yeah. So remember those giant novelty sunglasses if you're old like us? They were like huge. He's wearing a pair of those.
Yeah, and he's holding a star map for some reason.
And there's a homeless guy.
There's a homeless guy. There's
a guy who looks like he should be on Miami Vice.
There's a girl, of course, because it's California. That means that there's a girl in the bikini.
And roller skates.
With a Walkman. With a Walkman. And there's also a giant man in the background. Venice Beach guy holding a lot of weight with just one finger.
Yeah.
And then there's a guy in the background. I'm assuming that's Don Johnson.
Well, that's what I was saying. He's a very Miami Vice guy.
So, yeah.
But actually, there's 2 stories in this book.
Okay, basically, Avengers Spotlight is like an anthology book. It was more or less like a Hawkeye, like a Hawkeye ongoing series.
Yeah, it's like having a backup story. A story, and then there's a backup story.
Yeah, there's like a lot of, basically it was like Hawkeye's adventures outside of the Avengers, when he was heading up the Avengers West Coast. And And then occasionally they would feature whoever is like a different, different Avenger each week or each month. So
and poor Hawkeye doesn't even get a cover. It goes to Vision.
He gets most of the covers,
but Hawkeye is the first story in this book, and man, he's having a bad day.
Having a bad day because he is a continuation from, I guess, the first. From something happened earlier.
But he's getting his ass kicked here by Bobcat and Mad Dog.
Bobcat and Mad Dog. Bobcat is wearing a costume that he just basically...
He looks like Brown Batman.
But he's like, his whole face is covered.
And he has like a little mustache.
Oh no, that's Mad Dog.
Oh, I can't tell the difference. Wait. No, I thought that was a cat. Or is that a cat?
No, because he's saying...
Which one's which?
This is Bobcat. Oh. This is Mad Dog because he's saying "grr." That's why I assume that's Mad.
Cats say "grr" too. I don't know which one's which.
He's calling him Dog Breath, so that's Mad Dog.
Okay, good. I'm sorry. Well, whoever it is, he looks like a Batman.
Yeah, like
a brown Batman. It's hard for me to tell who's who in this one because there's a lot of these like second, not even second, like D, E, F, G. G-list villains.
Oh, these are straight up G-list villains. Like these guys,
these guys. Who the fuck are these guys?
The only appearances these guys ever had was in this book, not in this book particular issue, but in Avengers Spotlight. They only existed
and they'll never exist again.
Just to fuck with.
Maybe who knows?
Yeah,
you never know. Someone might be like, I want to write Mad Dog stories, and maybe they'll be great. But I doubt.
How Mad Dog gets do anything because basically his entire face is a big beige mask.
But, you can't even see his face.
But
he has hair.
He has beige eyeballs and pupils, but for some reason he's got like Conan hair.
Yeah, he does.
He
does. So instead, Hawkeye's like, "Don't fight me," and then they start fighting each other.
Well, because basically what they did was they start fighting each other. They interrupted a marriage counselor session between him and
Hawkeye and his wife.
Hawkeye and his wife Mockingbird. And I guess during this melee, Hawkeye got bitten by Mad Dog, and now he's got a bunch of poison in him. So he's
having like a venom issue.
He's got a venom issue, so he gets away from those guys, and apparently this is like a whole.
It's just a really shitty day. So he gets away from them, and he tries to call down his. What does he call it? His sky something?
Sky cycle. He has a sky. He has like a little thing kind of scooter that he the thing has.
So sky cycle, it won't come to him, and he's like, "What the hell? This isn't going very well." And as he's trying to get away, all of a sudden,
it was this white dude, this doctor. I think it's. I wonder if it's his marriage counselor that's doing this.
Maybe because it seems like somebody's trying to get him, and all of a sudden, Hawkeye's like, "Okay, coast is clear." What the fuck? It's the Bullet Biker.
The Bullet Biker. Some asshole on a bike.
What? What? It's just sad. So he comes, he starts shooting.
To be honest, he's a few years too early because this would have been a big hit in the 90s. He would have had his own series.
Probably, but it's just ridiculous. So he starts shooting at Hawkeye. Hawkeye jumps under a car. And he can't get a shot off because he doesn't have enough room. And then the guy blows up the car, and Hawkeye loses his bow. Yeah,
he's got no bow, but somehow he manages to.
He hits him with a trash can lid.
Trash can lid because Captain America.
And he's like, Captain would have liked that. Hawkeye spends kind of like the thing. Hawkeye spends a lot of time thinking.
That's how it was. That really is really frustrating.
There's a lot of. I guess it's the same thing as narration boxes are today, but at the same time, it's still like.
He goes, "Oh my god, what am I doing here?
What am I supposed to do?
Geez, it was really hard back when I was playing with my balls and I got attacked, or whatever." But
was he just standing there, just jostling?
I just figured that's what they do.
I assume that's the sound of jostling balls.
I assume that's what Batman does when he's just sitting on a rooftop, just waiting for shit to happen. He's just
scratching his dick like a goddamn monster.
Just
that's what you said about Lou Ferrigno. I thought was
funny. I did not see him.
Oh no, he wasn't in WonderCon.
Well, he was, but I didn't see him. I'm assuming he was off somewhere eating a Cliff Bar,
scratching his dick.
But.
So Hawkeye gets away from Bullet Guy, and then just as he thinks he's safe, his name is fucking Nick.
Okay, well there's a group of guys.
Nick.
Wait, let me explain. So there's a group of guys called the Death. There's a girl in there too called the Death Throws, and their specialty is that they juggle shit and throw it at you. Right, and actually, these guys had more than just appearances in this Avengers Spotlight. They debuted in a Captain America book.
When?
From the mid '80s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, these guys have been around. But they look like fucking tools. I mean,
well, they're juggling shit, and his name is Knick Knack.
There's Knick Knack
one called Oddball.
There's also who's this guy?
I don't know what his name is. He says Knick Knack, and then is his name Ringleader? It might be because he has rings. That would be fun.
Ringleader. There's Tenpin
because he juggles bowling pins.
And there's Oddball
because he juggles balls.
And then there's some
his own.
And then there's some girl who I don't know whose name that is.
I'm gonna call her Firepower.
Oh, because she's juggling grenades and little bombs with their wicks set. Which
are literally on fire. Come on, they're on fire.
God damn it!
It's awful. Is
that bowling pin on fire?
Yes, it is.
And they're throwing around a sword.
And they're surrounding him, but luckily he is.
They have the ugliest costumes.
Oh yeah, no, it's like
these guys are crazy. This is because he's in New York for some reason too. He should be in the West Coast, but he's in New York for some reason.
Yeah,
and all this stuff. He's having a bad time in New York.
He's just really having a bad day.
If this is New York in the '80s, you can't tell me that all these jerks are looking like this
and not getting beaten
and not getting beaten to death
by just like a bunch of fucking people. Just be like, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro?
Be like, what the hell? Look at you.
This is not how we do it in New York.
Look at you.
So Hawkeye's like, I can escape, and he climbs up a telephone pole.
Okay, but here's the thing: he's climbing up this telephone pole. Why are these guys just waiting here juggling their shit? He's climbing. You can't tell me that he's climbing up that pole.
And they're not going after him because it even has a ladder built into it. It's not like he's scaling.
What's it saying? It's a telephone pole. That's what they use when they they climb up those things.
Right. But I mean, they're not even trying to go up it. It's not like he just wrapped his arms around it and pulling himself up with the string.
But so his ribs and his leg are fucked up from all the other shit that's been going on.
Yeah.
And
they're just watching him climb this thing.
And they have knives and bowling pins and lit bombs.
And fucking grenades.
And lit bombs.
Grenades. And they don't even attempt to throw him down. They're just looking at him. And then he gets all the way to the top. And he, since he lost his bow, he just throws an arrow at them that explodes. And they're like, and that was the end of them. And so then he jumps to a roof and he's like, man, I'm so fucked up. This is awful. Wait a second. Trick shot. Another goddamn fucking villain that sucks.
Okay, I don't know how if his rogues gallery got on to be any better, but he doesn't have a good. These are some losers.
Yeah.
Holy, these are like Captain America rejected losers. Because Captain America's got some weirdos.
They're just like, we can't give these to anybody. Give them to Hawkeye.
Apparently so. So that's it. That's it.
And he's stuck on a rooftop with Trick Shot.
I hope he dies.
Yeah.
He doesn't die. But.
I know he doesn't die. And Hawkeye died. That's just the next issue is just a big...
It's just a big splash
page of a fucking tombstone.
It just says, he's dead!
And it's all right, backup story. What's
backup
next?
story. Let's talk about Hercules next month. But anyways. Right. So this next one...
Is Vision. Second debut.
Second debut because so what's been going on is that Vision used to be green and red and yellow, and he used to be he used to be like the android that originally was the
guy,
the original Human Torch, I think. That, which is just it comes up a little bit later, but
they talk about
something happened recently where he had to get rebuilt, and they rebuilt him and basically made him all
he's all white.
He's all white. He's all beige and white and, eggshell colored. He
kind of looks like, if you've ever seen, there's a Justice League animated episode with a Mazo. Is it a Mazo?
Well, Mazo, yeah.
No, you know which episode I'm talking about, right? The one where the Luther, tricks the robot.
He doesn't look like a Mazo.
He kind of does, just with abs.
But Mazo didn't have a face.
He eventually got a face because he evolved one. But he's basically like just that monochromatic, like, thing that doesn't understand humans.
Well, he's going to understand humans. Or he's going to understand, nature, because he's all very more robotic and cold, and he's still married to Scarlet Witch, and, it's probably awkward. So anyway, so he's putzing around Los Angeles, and he comes across...
another great name for a superhero team, or villain team.
Well, he comes across a bank heist by the team known as Smog Alert.
Smog Alert.
Because we're in L.A.,
and they literally have guns
that shoot smog.
So this book is just full of really shitty villains.
What a bunch of... I think literally this is the only appearance of Smog Alert.
I hope so. I hope Smog
Because I don't think anybody else was like...
It's like the worst fucking thing I've ever seen. And in LA, we breathe that shit all the time. We don't even notice it. Smog Alert bullshit.
Yeah, so Smog Alert, is like...
So they're trying to like rob a...
trying to rob a deposit truck or whatever.
Yeah, like an armored car.
And
truck.
And Vision just shows up and he's like, whatever, I can change my density.
And that's the thing that kind of sucks about this, is because they're like, I'm going to shoot you, and he's like, no, you will not. I will change my density so it will go right through me. And now that it's gone right through me, I will belt your gun. Like that's literally what he does. He just narrates what he's doing.
Well,
step by step.
And see, the thing is, actually, we're getting to it. So anyway, so he dispatches these goofs. It just happens that one of these goofs,
super hot chick,
grabs some super hot California chick
in a bikini top,
and roller skates. Okay, I mean, come on.
Who doesn't dress like that in California? I'm wearing that now.
And so he saves her. And the girl's like, woo, how can I ever repay you? And then he's like, well, I'm an android, and you need to go to the hospital because you might have been messed up.
Perhaps you have been injured, miss.
But she totally wants to bone him.
How do you bone an android?
Well, he probably has android parts. He's a human android. He's based after a human thing. I mean, him and the Scarlet Witch had babies. I don't know how, but he did have... Was
it magic babies?
Well, who knows? Probably.
Mechanical sperms?
Mechanical robot sperms. Anyway, so she wants some of those mechanical robot sperms. And
I thought Scarlet Witch had babies with the Vision that was the different colored Vision. Not the white boy.
Well, the red Vision. Yeah, the original Vision.
Yeah. Not this guy who was rebuilt from the ground up. That's why he looks like that.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
So...
But, anyway, so he...
I'm confused about this.
But he's got toes.
He has feet,
yes. Feeties.
He does.
Anyways, so the girl wants to bone him, and the police show up, and the police are like,
you there...
Hey, watch out. Hey, come on, what are you doing to that woman? Be careful, or, hey, you're a villain, and they're like, because they don't recognize him.
Right.
Because he looks different. Yes. He doesn't look like the Vision, and the police officer literally tells him that. He's like, no, I'm the Vision.
And the guy's like, you don't look like you used to.
You don't look like you used to.
He's like, I've been rebuilt.
So he's like...
Kind of like you would just run into people and be like, hey, how you doing? Oh, good. Yeah, man, I got a new couch. This is, hey, man, I've been rebuilt.
Yeah.
Same basic conversation. So he was like, oh, I got to do something about this, and he flies off.
So he decides that the best way to fix this issue is to show up in the media.
Yes. But first I have to point out that in the background here, as he's flying away, you can see the Hollywood sign and Capitol Records building. But there's a billboard, and it says, hey, kids, read Night Shift. And I was like, well, what the fuck is Night Shift? So we Googled it. And it is apparently Stephen King's first book of short stories. It was published in 1978.
So kids.
Actually, Stephen King's short story is pretty good. There's one that still haunts me to this day that was in Nightmares and Dreamscapes about rock and roll heaven.
Oh.
Yeah. I read that when I was 13, and I still remember it.
So read that.
Yeah, read that. Anyway.
So Vision's like, well, you know what? I'm going to go on the late night circuit, or I'm just going to go to wherever, TV.
I'm going to go to where TV is. So he goes to TV. So
he goes to TV, and by TV he means the Johnny Carson show.
Yep. So we have a late night host theme this episode.
And so he, since Vision is, he can, phase through things and stuff like that, he just shows up on the set as they're taping the Tonight Show.
Well, the guy is singing.
Well, I'm assuming, I don't
Excuse
know,
me.
I wonder if this is, because he's singing Mr. Tambourine Man.
Yeah.
And I think this might be like William Shatner doing his
that
weird
would
version.
be funny.
That's what I'm thinking here.
That might be.
And he's wearing because he's wearing a turtleneck and
He kind of looks like Shatner.
Yeah, I guess.
And he's like really getting into Mr. Tambourine Man.
which I think is
Like,
funny.
Mr. Tambourine Man is a little too old to be like, brand new debuting.
Yeah,
on
1989.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm assuming that this is. Well, actually, it's funny that it's Shatner doing it because if it's Shatner, he did this. I feel like his version of Mr. Tambourine Man was like well before this as well.
Maybe.
So, I don't know. I'd have to.
I could Google it.
So, anyways, so
Yeah, it's released 1968.
yeah, so that's the thing. It's 1968 that came out. So apparently Shatner's just doing the night circuit because Johnny Carson literally has nothing else to show except William Shatner singing "Mr. Tambourine Man."
Yes, but he's also
Or somebody singing it. I don't know who this is. I mean,
I guess
I'm
it's
assuming
Shatner.
I'm assuming it's Shatner. Could be Tom Jones with a big power gut.
It could be.
Um,
Did Tom Jones ever sing Mr. Tambourine Man?
I mean, he could.
Okay. But maybe this guy just really loved Mr. Tambourine Man. They're like, we're putting it in.
So anyway, so Johnny's guests of that night are Charo. So
Coochie.
okay, so I guess, I mean, so here's the thing. This is 1989. It's like 90. Oh God, when was it? When was the Surreal Life? Like
Years later.
Years later than this. It's like 10 years later than that, and she was on that.
Charo always was, but she was on the Tonight Show a lot, wasn't she?
Well, yeah, that makes sense that she was on there.
Like Johnny loved to have her on. I don't really remember much about.
Oh, well, she was just a lady who did things.
And she's incomprehensible.
And also the other guest is Pee Wee Herman.
That's right.
Straight up, we don't talk about, they don't say it's Pee Wee Herman, but it's Paul Rubens.
Oh yeah, it's Paul. They even call him Paul.
They call him Paul. They don't say Pee Wee.
But it's Pee Wee.
He looks like Peter Lorre in this picture here, but no, it's Pee Wee Herman in a very, very ugly suit.
Well, his suit was always very ugly.
And
Charo.
And Charo's like,
with her tits.
Yeah, she's like, so he just kind of sits down because Johnny Carson's like, whatever.
Fuck it, we got a robot. Come on in.
Fuck it. I mean, what's he gonna? Well, I mean, really, what's he gonna do? So basically, he just shows up, and and then the whole thing where Pee Wee Herman's like, "Hey, you used to be the Human Torch, didn't you?" And he's like, "No, I used to believe that was the case, but now I am an android, or I'm a synthezoid."
Yeah.
But
I am still here to serve you, the people. Don't worry about it. Basically, it's his like, hey, I'm your friend. This is just how I look now. So, like, let's say your friend went and got a shit ton of plastic surgery and you hadn't seen them for a while, and then they, like, just showed up at your door to be like, hey, it's me, John. This is what I look like now, but it's still me. That's basically what he does in front of the whole nation. And they're like, oh, that's great. Just Vision, we will show this tonight as long as you promise not to go on to Arsenio, or whoever else.
Pat. Pat Sajak.
Pat Sajak.
That's because this is around time with Pat Sajak.
Pat Sajak had a show?
Oh, yeah.
How long?
Around this time.
No, I mean, like, how long did it go?
Probably for, maybe a year.
Pat Sajak.
Johnny sweating Pat Sajak.
I don't think Johnny would ever sweat Pat Sajak.
Well, he's sweating Pat Sajak right here on the,
And then he just went back to doing fucking game shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he was still doing a Wheel of Fortune, but he was
also doing
this, like a late night show. Like he was basically doing like Craig Ferguson. Wow. I think.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. So it was because it was on CBS. Yeah, because I think it was who was on CBS at the time?
Oh, I don't even know.
Good Lord. Anyways.
Anyway.
Yeah, but he didn't go on Arsenio.
So he didn't, and he was like, "All right, great, thank you," and he like phases out through the floor. But
well, actually, here's the thing. I like Charo. Actually, is trying to get in his pants too. Apparently, she's like, "You want a good girl to service?"
Gross.
And and Pee Wee's like, "I don't think it's gonna work."
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh." So then he like phases out through the floor, but we see that through the television screen because the Avengers are just watching this on TV. They're just all standing around watching it, and they're just laughing their asses off.
I like
at Vision.
Actually, I kind of like Hank Pym here.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like there's that cartoon of like reason why Batman doesn't smile.
Yeah.
And like he's like,
yeah, because his face is all.
Because his face looks all messed up, and he's like, that's why Batman doesn't smile or laugh. And it's like, well,
that is
like U.S. Agent is just looking, looking for swear.
He looks a little something.
And Vision is just like
They all look that way. Let's be honest. I mean, look at Cap.
Well, that's a U.S. Agent.
Oh, sorry, U.S. Agent. I thought that was Cap.
He looks like U.S. Cap America.
Get it.
But his suit's darker, and he has a different star.
Oh, I see. The star is different. See, things I learned.
And there's my buddy Wonder Man.
I was going to say, I see Wonder Man. Scarlet Witch is just like, whatever. She's just shaking her
head.
head.
You got Wasp sitting on top of his head.
Laughing.
And Tigra.
Yeah.
So there you go. So
that's that.
So that was fun.
That was fun. That was a good time. We had a late night host theme this show.
Yeah, I have to say, I would have liked to have seen. I think there should be like a collection of all the superhero comics with all the people.
We've read a couple of them. We've had one with Dave.
I have.
Remember we read one where David Letterman was in it? I think we read two, actually.
We didn't read we read the one West Coast Avengers where David Letterman was in it.
And there was another one where he was in it, too.
Well, I have that one. It's a digital. We didn't read that.
No, there's another one, because we've read two.
Oh. Well, yeah, so that's...
They mention them a lot. All these late night hosts. Probably, like, back in the day. I mean, these guys just, like, sat around and were up at all hours of the night trying to do their shit, just watching what was on.
Probably.
Right? So you, like, fall in love with Letterman or Conan or whatever. But, I don't know, has Stephen Colbert ever been name-dropped in a book? What about...
No, I think he has been, because he had, like, a Spider-Man or something.
Just like, but in the way these guys are, just sort of like in the background, sort of like, oh, we just ran through the studio. Okay, see you later.
Because comics aren't that fun anymore.
That's true, they're not.
Now it's all like guns,
sadness,
Bullet Biker.
I'm surprised Bullet Biker doesn't get his own fucking series now.
Bullet Biker should be like a big star.
Yeah,
so he should have been when you can think about Ghost Rider.
I was going to say he fit right in.
Nick Cage could have been Bullet Biker instead of Ghost Rider.
That's his new property.
That's
the next Nick Cage.
I'm gonna write that script and tie it to a brick and throw it into Nick Cage's.
Just shot put it
into his castle or whatever.
Doesn't he have like an island?
Yeah, I'm gonna throw it on his island.
Shot put it onto his island.
I'm gonna shot put it from the ocean.
Bullet Biker. It'll be like, good idea, Shawn.
Well, what I'll probably have to do is put it in like a bottle, like a big wine, one of those big like wine jugs.
Oh, yeah, a gallon jug of
Thunderbird. Like a Lambrusco or whatever. Just throw it in there, just throw it in, and just hope Nick Cage gets it.
Yeah.
On his island somewhere, and then maybe he will, and maybe he'll do it.
I think that's the best way.
I think that's how scripts get made, right?
I think that's exactly how scripts.
I think when what happens is like somebody goes to they somebody types them all up in Hawaii, and then they just throw them in a bottle and just throw them towards L.A. and they just get here, and then when the screenwriter, what happens is like the producers go to the beach
and they just pick up a bottle
and they're doing like just walking and they go, oh look, it's a giant bottle with a script in it.
Great.
I think this will be a movie.
Yeah.
And then they hand it to like Vin Diesel or some shit, and he goes yes, and then that's how movies are made.
Yeah, I mean when I went to the the Ask an Agent panel at WonderCon, that's exactly what they said. That don't even bother getting an agent, just buy a bunch of bottles.
Just get a bunch of bottles
and just throw them into the water.
And get somebody in Hawaii that can throw them here because that's how we do it.
And just aim them towards Malibu.
You might if you're you don't want them to go to Canada.
Well, maybe you do. I mean, maybe somebody in Vancouver will pick it up, and then you're going to have the next Arrow. I mean, that's where they shoot.
This is good advice, guys.
Yeah, listen to us.
Okay. Well, thank you for listening, everybody. Once again, this has been Worst Collection Ever. I'm Shawn. You can find me on Twitter at Angry Hero Shawn, SHAWN. You also find me on Tumblr, theangryhero.tumblr.com.
And I'm Jen. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Jen Stansfield. And you can find me on Tumblr, jenstansfield.tumblr.com, and WordPress, jenstansfield.wordpress.com.
All right, folks. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.